The latest in tech and accessibility. This is Access Tech Live with Stephen Scott and Marc Aflalo.
But this is how it sounded, so let's take a look.
I love The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. It depicts the view from his asylum room at Saint Remy de Provence just before sunrise.
But here's the preview of what's gonna come early next year.
I love The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. It depicts the view from his asylum room at Saint Remy de Provence just before sunrise.
That's Rahid Hassad, who's Amazon's Senior Vice President and Head Scientist for Artificial Intelligence at Amazon. Welcome back to Access Tech Live. Kelly MacDonald is with us, the host of Kelly and Ramya, weekday afternoons here on AMI TV. Good to have you with us for the ride this week, Kelly.
Good day, guys. Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite, and the show has sounded tremendous, so congratulations to you.
Well, that is very kind. I think this is my highlight of 2023 is this show, to be perfectly honest. But AI, of course, was the bigger story, arguably, of the year. Arguably. The biggest story in tech, of course, of 2023, and likely to be the biggest and fastest growing industry in 2024. It certainly was the case in 23 as well. Kelly, we chose that clip there from Amazon because Marc and I are sure you're really looking forward to what's coming up on Echo devices from Amazon.
You know, what I really love about all of this, and again, some people would say it's scary, fellas, is how much like human beings do we want these responses to be? Do we want to forget, hey, this isn't a person, this is actually, you know, a robotic answer to an extent, maybe a human voice that we're using, yes, traditionally, and we're sampling it as we know we can do very little, and then use that voice, whether it's to read a book or be a voice assistant. But how close do we want that to be? How much do we want to forget? But there's nothing like having that realism. And as somebody who's read audiobooks all my life, and had to deal with a screen reader most of my life on my computer, you look forward to that nuances, the sound, a little bit of feeling. You do worry, how much does that give you that, well, this is what they're trying to tell me. This is how I'm supposed to understand. How much of that natural direction comes. And I think we've had the conversations using AI to describe a picture. How are they learning to describe it? I mean, when I was a kid, I had my dad read a book to me. He'd be very quick to say, oh man, this is a whole half page here of description. I'll just skip this. No, Dad, I want to hear it. And I liked hearing the description. However, it would be written in a certain way. And I think one of the key things to figure out now is if you're, whether it's using Be My Eyes for description or anything using AI in any way, how is it telling you that? As a blind person, I may need description in a different way than that novel sounding, it's a big valley, the plants are lush. You know, I might want to hear that there's a big valley on starting from left to right. There is this, there is that, there is a farm in the base of the valley going up the right side. That is, I'm anxious to see how AI can be changed like that to make those differences depending on the consumer.
Well, I think, Kelly, that this is where, you know, the benefits of AI kind of fall into place here. At least the customizability of it. To be able to say, I'm Kelly MacDonald, this is how I want things done for me. I'm Marc Aflalo, this is how I want things done to me. Whether it's a natural sounding voice, a robotic sounding voice, the way in which audio description is, the speed of the language, we've been able to customize these things till now. So I guess the question at the end of the day is, will we be able to still customize those things, and to what degree when it comes to these new digital personal assistants, right?
Yes. And the importance, I mean, we used to think, especially those of us in the disability community, when we had to pay extra price or something was an individual item for me to have to make it accessible. Now we're seeing it in our iPhones, in our assistants, that there is, when you go to a website, hey, click here if you need a screen reader assistance and to make it easier and customize it, as you said, Marc, for it to be read that way. So I'm assuming these are things that are going to come part and parcel with the AI and that experience. And I don't know how much it's learning on its own. We're very quick to say the machine learning, but we know there's human hands in different places all over doing something and at least thinking this out. So I am very excited for it. I think you're right. Story of the year for sure is our AI, as you guys have mentioned, but I know those in the know, those utilizing it, the developers have been seeing it for a few years, and every 6 months or less, it's changing so greatly. What we think of today will be shocked in 6 months. What do you mean you're using AI to do that?
But I think, the key point here for me is that we're seeing it come in a very real way through devices like the Amazon Echo and devices like that. And I wonder from your perspective, what is it that you're looking for it to do that it doesn't do today? What can AI bring to the table?
I think we're still looking at the filtering out. When I ask questions and it's giving me an answer back, not necessarily being so quick to display it, I want to be able to say, this is my choice to have it, you read it to me, not say, oh, look on your TV. What? No, I don't want to cast over there the choices. I want to know about that. I'd like the choice to have a little more of that detail, which we know that's certainly in its sphere to do, but knowing, as we talked about, these are my choices, and the accuracy. I think we still see AI getting you information, but it's still pulling from available sites, an article that might be out there. How do we get it to be more true and a little less of the stuff that is just gathered together and thrown? And that will come in its time, but that's what I need the assistant to do, whether it's Google or the A-Lady, just being able to filter out what Kelly MacDonald might have wrote on a site somewhere that's just a bit of, made up this or that, or lack of background. How does it get to actually getting the accurate? So we're always saying, hey, if you're asking a medical question, take the internet with a grain of salt.
Yeah, so, what you're saying, Kelly, here is that you wanted to act like a real human assistant, which is you wanted to learn about you. You wanted to learn how you want things, and you wanted to deliver stuff in that context. And you want to also be able to rely on it. So I think that's the biggest key that we're worrying about right now when it comes to AI across the board is how reliable is the source of information? Whether it's looking on the internet to find it, it's looking into encyclopedia, or a human is giving it. Even if it's going off and getting its own information, is it being set on the correct path or not? That's something we have yet to determine.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say, is it realistic to expect it to be there? Or is it realistic to expect Google to have a staff of people that are filling up the repository with information, just in case somebody might want to know about this? How do you then define that without the AI assistance, which, again, as time goes on, you curtail it that way, and it will do and say, no, that's not really an accurate source. We know that from experience. Let's go elsewhere. These are the things that I am excited to see. And you do feel already that Google, it kind of does learn in its own way wherever that AI is being applied, because I'm sure there's plenty of places it's applied we have no real idea. And obviously if someone told us, we'd say, well, of course, yeah, it makes sense.
You said something interesting there, which is you're talking about Google, and Google, let's not forget, Google has the largest repository of search data in the world. I mean, they've been doing this longer than anybody else. So they are definitely have a leg up on everybody else. So when we see companies like OpenAI, for example, that now when you look at the AI landscape, they're the front runner, right? There's no hiding it. They're the ones who came to the market first with their language models with ChatGPT, and they're promising some big things for the future. Here's Sam Altman from the developer conference earlier this year.
And with our new text-to-speech model, you'll be able to generate incredibly natural sounding audio from text in the API with 6 preset voices to choose from. I'll play an example.
Did you know that Alexander Graham Bell, the eminent inventor, was enchanted by the world of sounds? His ingenious mind led to the creation of the graphophone, which etched sounds onto wax, making voices whisper through time.
This is much more natural than anything else we've heard out there. Voice can make apps more natural to interact with and more accessible.
So what's happening here, Kelly, obviously, is everybody's focusing on making that identity of AI be more personable and more more interactive, which may or may not be the actual right direction. Like, should they be focusing on the data in itself? But then you look, for example, at companies like Be My Eyes that are really just taking the utility approach, right? It's AI utility. Take it, do what you need to do, and then be done with it. Do we even need more?
Well, and I just want to say that when I think about doing searches, looking for stuff, we're still grabbing it off of the Wikipedias and that out there that we're saying, well, that's just populated by someone. It's not necessarily. But when we go to a voice, years back, I would have killed for my Jaws to sound more human. My audiobooks, if I was given the option now, hey, would you like a voice like we just heard reading your audiobook to you? Or is it important to keep those narrators working? It's always important to keep people working, but the consumer says, yeah, but if you're going to use that voice and instead of 10,000 audiobooks being available, I can have 1 million at my disposal. I'll never read the 1 million, but I could have if you use that technology. And that's a hard argument.
It is, and it's actually interesting you bring that up because it's the same conversation we've been having over on Double Tap for a long time. You know, people are resistant to the change here because they say, well, you know, what happens to narrators? What happens to that human element? But as we've just heard in that demonstration from Sam Altman at the OpenAI conference earlier this year, the personality is starting to come through. And there are examples where, you know, it is becoming easier and sometimes even unnoticeable to recognize the difference. We're seeing this in audio description as well. We're seeing how audio description is moving away from human narration in some cases, using AI for that. The good, the bad is difficult on that. I want to get your take though on Be My Eyes because they've had quite a big year. Be My AI, of course, being their huge new feature that they brought out. I want you to just tell me your thoughts on that. And have you had a chance to play with Be My AI?
I use it. I have not taken pictures and got them to describe. I have heard the results of it. We've talked about it on Kelly and Ramya. I've had people send me stuff saying, listen to this. And that brings me back to what I was saying in the way of how I would consume that description. When I hear it it sounds like it's out of a novel. It's a description that way. Is it what I would want if I walked into a room and needed to know, okay, where's the bathroom? Where's the buffet table? Where's my table? How would I want this thing to tell me that? I don't necessarily, want, in front of you is a vast room of this, that, chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Well, maybe, but I'm not going up there to find any of the chandeliers. I might want that image, but as we talked about, if it can tell me that, but I definitely love where they're going. And it's just weeks, literally weeks, if it already hasn't been. These things, people who are using it out there are shouting at the TV now saying they have, refined it. And that's on its way.
So AI, no doubt, obviously, probably the biggest story of this year, if not even 2022, because it really, crept into this year, no doubt. And I'm excited to see how this technology also makes its way onto things like smart glasses, et cetera, which is pretty cool. Kelly, stick around. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we can't miss our Apple quota for the week. Apple, we need to mention at least once for Stephen. And thankfully, one of their biggest product announcements in I don't know how long happened this past year. So, Kelly, stick around. When we come back, we're going to talk all about Apple's Vision Pro headset and, of course, gaming. This is Access Tech Live.
We want to hear from you. Follow us on social media and get involved at Access Tech Live. We'll be right back. Latest in tech and accessibility. This is Access Tech Live with Stephen Scott and Marc Aflalo.
And the Game Award goes to Forza Motorsport.
Thank you so much for this. Since this category was introduced several years ago, I think we've seen a dramatic shift in the whole industry towards making games more and more accessible. And with this list of amazing nominees, it just really drives that home.
That's Neha Chintala and Katrin Hillman accepting the award for Forza Motorsports in the Innovation in Accessibility category at the Game Awards just a couple of weeks ago. Kelly MacDonald is still with us. So, on to gaming, guys. We've got to talk about this. And, it's quite incredible how many categories now we can talk about in the field of accessibility. I mean, it has, of course, been another amazing year for accessibility in games, but the fact that we can even talk about it, Kelly, as blind guys, we can drive a car, finally. Yeah. I mean, how great is this?
Well, we had Marcus McCracken on our show. He brought Brandon on, who's been doing the testing and part of the developing for Forza Motorsport. And this, for me, I've never been a big gamer, but I've always said to people, if there was the accessibility where I could play a game, I'd lose my job, for sure, because where is he? And I'd be at home and screaming at the TV. I think this is scary to me on the level of, wow, because I would love this. And we've always talked, Stephen, with the feel. Give me some things to feel. Let me, as I make it go into the turn, feel the tilt in somehow, and feel the road, feel that I'm getting close to the wall when I rub up against it via a vibration. These things are the telltales that, crazy enough, for not only us to help be able to do this without sight, but others to enjoy it who can see and say, oh, I feel myself rubbing up against that wall. It's beautiful.
Do you know what's incredible about this game? I've been learning a little bit about it by talking to some of the players. I'm like you, I'm not a big gamer either, and I realize a lot of that is because of the inaccessibility of games up until now. So we haven't been going out buying PlayStations and Xboxes because what would be the point, right? But this game has got so much customization in it that allows you to do things like hearing specific beeps and boops along the way so that you know exactly where you are on the track, you know where the cars are around you, you can drive in a straight line, you can turn, you can make those curves, you know exactly where you're going just based on audio, on vibration feedback, all of that. I mean, it's just incredible how much they've done to this game that can allow a blind guy to drive at 200 miles an hour. I am honestly blown away by it. And what is incredible is, I mean, obviously, like you say, you had Brandon Cole on the show, who was, one of the key people, the key advocates who were involved in making sure this game got its credentials. And of course, he gave it those credentials just by being part of it. But so many other blind players, totally blind players, actually playing this game and enjoying it. I mean, it does make me very tempted to get myself an Xbox, or at least try and make the argument to Mrs. Scott that I should have an Xbox in the house.
Well, I think, too, it's amazing when you look at these people who have played the games without the accessibility, who have found ways. And you don't have to be a genius. You have the desire to want to do it and then be able to express that back, explain that back, make your suggestions somehow. But you also need the listening ear to say, come over and tell me more about that as we design this. What would you have done here? What would you like? Well, I can't exactly tell you how to design this into it, but I would like. And this would help. I could learn or do the game if I could do that. Thank you. And I think that the Brandons out there, the people doing it, the Marcus is sitting at home and having some fun and saying, hey, Stephen, Kelly, trying it out and never. It's that battling through it that these people have done to make them be able to explain and help the rest of us be able to participate down the road.
It's kind of the empowerment, right, Kelly? It's
It is.
now that people realize that they're listening and they're doing it, people aren't scared to speak up and tell them what they want.
Yeah, and the companies are not afraid to invest the money knowing, hey, this is another market here we've been, ignoring, have not known how to serve. And is that all we have to do to make ourselves a lot of money? And I know we're seeing that everywhere, but gaming, for some reason, I guess it's that one thing people say, look, there's far more accessibility and things out there that disabled people need versus games. And we're all screaming, are you kidding? Like what?
Okay, well,
I want to play a game.
You talk about games, and a company that's not synonymous with gaming is now trying to get into gaming, which is Apple, right? So Apple's now talking all about the things they want to do in gaming. Their computers are now gaming compatible. Everything is great. And then they go out and they announce a product like Apple Vision Pro, their mixed reality headset. Here's CEO Tim Cook at that announcement earlier this year.
It's already been a big day, but we do have one more thing. This is a day that's been years in the making, one that I've really been looking forward to. I believe that augmented reality is a profound technology. Blending digital content with the real world can unlock experiences like nothing we've ever seen. So today, I'm excited to announce an entirely new AR platform with a revolutionary new product. And here it is.
A video plays. From the darkness, a bead of light splits into a beam, veering left and right. The points of the beam mirror each other, slowly tracing a bowed line. They draw upward along curved edges and meet in an arch, pulling a device fully out of shadow. A metal frame surrounds a curved piece of black glass. It rotates, revealing cameras behind the glass. Perforations punctuate the aluminum lower curve. Light dances over a digital crown, which turns beside a knitted mesh textile. Light races across knit ridges and shadows retreat, revealing the cushioned surface of a band. The device pulls back, revealing a headband attached to straps which connect to the optical frame. From the darkness, a user appears wearing the device around their head. A cord stretches downward from the left side. The glass front of the device changes from black to reveal the user's eyes. The user stares straight ahead, then blinks.
introducing Apple Vision Pro.
Okay, so the question here, I'll start with Stephen Scott. You going to buy this?
No, I'm not buying this.
Why? But this is made by Apple. You have to buy it.
Do we have a breaking news thing that we can throw up on screen? Because I don't think I've ever said I'm not buying an Apple product in my life. But honestly, it is true. I'm not buying this. As much as I think it is going to be brilliant, I think it's going to be great, I think it's going to have huge benefits, I think it's going to take computing to a new level. For me, I've got to see some apps on there that make it worthwhile. It's a bit like the question about buying an Xbox or a PlayStation. You know, yeah, I could go out and buy an Xbox and PlayStation. It's got accessibility built in. How many games can I buy for it? Oh, what, one? Do you know what? I'll wait. I'll hold back. So that's where I'm at.
Kelly?
Same thing. I when this came out, I thought, oh, wow, advanced. But my head's not there to, okay, how could I enjoy? What can I do yet with augmented glasses, with the little bit of vision I have to see these things on there? Not enough. But it's the hope for the future. Just like the driverless cars. Like you sit back and say, okay, you're doing something like this now. And again, I had to get to the point with an iPhone, simply realizing, yeah, I'm not going to use everything. Even things that I can use, I'm not going to use everything on this. I get that these glasses are going to be the same way, regardless of whatever they built into it. But you got to give me something to make it worth me getting, other than, hey, look at me in these cool glasses I can't do anything with, but I look good. And I'm spending the money. It's coming, something. But I'm going to project, Steve, and I don't know if you'll agree with me. I think we're still good, even after it's in Canada here. We're still a ways away. 3 years, 4 years before it's something we can do anything. It's kind of like waiting for the iPhone 4S to get any speaking in it or anything like that back in the day.
That's right. That's exactly it. Yeah. And, you know, people forget that, right? The iPhone came out, we had to wait till the 4S, and then we got voiceover, and it was like, oh my goodness, this basically, this piece of glass is now accessible to us. The thing is, out of the gate, the Vision Pro will be accessible. We know that it will have voiceover on it. We've had it demonstrated pretty much on day one. We had that, which is incredible. But I have to say, there's accessibility and there's usability. And I think that's going to be the big issue for me with this device, because how is this going to be something I can use and benefit from? It's a lot of money to pay for a very fancy screen I can't see. And it's probably at that point, I'm maybe just personally at that point in my life where I'm just not prepared to spend that kind of money on something that I feel I'm just throwing it away. You know that on the front of the device is going to be like this fog, which represents you using the device. That's how I'll see it inside, a foggy mess. Inside. It's a lot of money to spend on a foggy mess. I know, Marc,
so it's like a making a decision though.
Well, that's it. But that's what I see it for at the moment. Wow, that's kind of neat. That's kind of nice, as long as I'm not spilling out and bothering anyone. But it's, again, the decisions you make of products that you're going to buy. You're not going to buy every iPhone on the market. You'll choose the one you want because of its usability.
And I've got AirPods if I want good headphones, right? I mean, that is my Vision Pro. That's my Ears Pro.
Yep.
You could buy almost 50 pair of AirPods if you want, compared to the price of the Vision Pro.
That's right.
Well, we'll see. Listen, we're expecting to see this headset come to market, or at least be available sometime in the first half of 2024. What?
Are you going to buy it?
He'll get one he can test and play around with it. That's what he'll do.
Yes, I will. I'll probably buy it from the States and bring it to Canada to figure it all out. Will I keep it? I don't know. I mean, when Meta came out with their Quest Pro, I got it for a couple of weeks, played with it, so I'm never going to use this and returned it. So, but that was a quarter of the price, literally. So this is really expensive investment for something that is not yet proven. I think that's why it's the price that it is, because they don't.
And
expect
I don't know what I expect from it. Like in future, you let Be My Eyes work through it for me? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I would want. I'm never going to be able to see videos. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Tricky one.
There's one more story I wanted to kind of throw in here, because I know Steven's going to give me a 5-word answer to this, and I'm sure, Kelly, you're going to have the same reaction. Elon Musk, Twitter, and X.
I can start if you want. It was terrible. Everything's broken. It's dead. It's fine again. And just that on loop pretty much for the entire year.
It's interesting when these guys, and playing with a toy that you're just destroying. It's like that 5-year-old that plays, gets bored, and by the time you're done with it, you can't even give it to another kid because look what he's done to it. it's what's going on, and you just ask the question, why?
I wish I could afford
we should just
toys
have
like
given
him.
him the bird. We should just have given him the box the bird came in. That would probably be a lot easier. Been cheaper for
Kelly
him.
MacDonald,
We'd all got
thank
with
you
our
so
lives.
much. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Happy New Year. Enjoy, obviously, your show today. You got, a couple more shows before the new year. Wishing you all the best, and thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Folks, check out our Christmas show on 2 p.m. Friday on Kelly and Ramya. And guys, the best of the season to you and all viewers.
Thanks, Kelly.
When we come back, the Executive Director of the Consumer Technology Association Foundation, his name is Steve Ewell. He joins us next as we continue our look back at 2023. This is Access Tech Live.
We want to hear from you. Follow us on social media and get involved at Access Tech Live. We'll be right back.